And just ahead, our next guest held his first solo concert at age 16 and is today a recipient of many awards. Find out more about his style of fusion music when we meet him after the break.
Well, for our next guest, music mirrors his life, culture, and origin. Born in Lebanon and raised in a strong Armenian culture, this Middle Eastern composer, producer, and pianist has made music his life since he started playing the piano at 4 years old.
Now, his is a unique blend of Arabic, English, and Greek sounds given a modern twist. A winner of Best Dance Album Awards at the Arab Music Awards and the Armenian Music Awards, among others, he's gained much popularity from Sydney to Beirut for his music.
So let's say good morning to Guy Manoukian, who joins us this morning in our studios. Good morning to you, Guy. Now, your music is a fusion. So
Yes.
how do you combine the different cultures and very different genres of music into what you play?
I mean, if you come from a country like Lebanon, it's a country where I come from. I'm Lebanese of Armenian descent. It's very normal. This comes in a very normal and natural way. Growing up, I used to study classical music when I started studying at the age of 4, and after that, being in a country where most of the people speak 3 languages or even 4 languages, in my case, at the daily on the daily level. So all these cultures are in a way pre-programmed in us while we are growing. And later on, when I started growing, I started hearing English songs. Then I fell in love and started hearing French songs, and then I was introduced to Arabic songs. So all of this were combined together to create what I call today Lebanese music, which is my music. It's a different kind of sound. It's not particularly Arabic, it's not particularly Western, but it's a mix.
So you didn't set out to purposely combine everything, it just came naturally?
No, it just came naturally. And up till the age of, I started composing when I was very young, but I never took it very seriously until I was 7 or 8 years old, when I started entering competitions with my own music. And at that point, I had I had to decide. It's either to imitate,
Right.
or innovate. So I decided the latter. I wanted to create my own music.
Isn't that a very young age to come, to that point, question yourself, is it to innovate or imitate?
I mean, at that point, my parents had a very big influence in my life, especially my father. And he used to guide me a lot. And being a classical pianist, you might expect that parents would push you to focus more on the classical
Side of it,
stuff that you are taking. But at that age, even though I continued my classical studies until I was 17 years old, but he was pushing me all the time to create my own music, and he had faith in my music, as well as my teachers had faith in my music, so that helped a lot.
Now, you spoke about your background, being born in Lebanon and being raised Armenian, very strong Armenian influence. How does music play in these two cultures? I mean, how big?
Very big, very important. I mean, the Arabic culture itself is a very rich culture. It's a very, how to say, magical and very mysterious. It has its own kind of beauty in it. And the Armenian culture is a very old culture. The Armenian civilization is one of the oldest civilizations known to man. And being also an Armenian helped me a lot in building my character. Especially that I'm an Armenian outside of Armenia in the diaspora because of the genocide that happened in 1915. A lot of Armenians were spread all around the world. So being in Lebanon and having that history with it built my personality, and it built my music in a way. But at the same time, to be exposed to the Western world, to be exposed to pop music, especially growing up in the 80s, I mean, it was a fantastic time to be growing up.
Guy, at the age of 16, you already had your solo concert, and
Yes.
I think you were expecting, about 400 people, but like 1,000 attended your
I always
concert.
have low
I think I was
expectations.
pretty overwhelmed, right? And you called it, you realized that is the moment when music was your calling. Do you remember that moment, the taste of sweet success?
Of course I remember that moment. I remember it like yesterday. And, but before coming here, I had a radio interview, and I told them one thing, that being now in Singapore reminds me a lot of that day.
Why?
Because, you know, in my part of the world, you know, I'm known, and everywhere I go, people have maybe already seen me or heard about me, or, you know, here in Singapore, I mean, what Karma Productions did, the guys who brought me to Singapore, and they brought me to like the biggest and the most important hall in Singapore, it's very challenging. And for me, I love challenges. And to be standing tomorrow at the Esplanade and playing to a new crowd, it's really an honor, and it has that kind of thrill, you know. I really feel challenged again.
Also, doesn't it, you know, bring pressure to you, you know, to impress your new fans?
You know, one thing I learned from my father is that you never need to impress anybody. Just impress yourself. I'm a very difficult person to impress, so and I'm a Gemini.
You're your worst critic, right?
And I'm a Gemini, so you can know that if I, in a way, if I'm happy with what I'm doing, I will be okay. I have fantastic musicians with me that I can count on, and the energy that we're going to have on stage, I'm sure is going to be enough for me to show the crowd what I can do.
Give us a better understanding for those who are attending your concert and who will be first introduced to this world of music. Is that a sort of a genre that's relatively new to us? What are we supposed to feel?
I mean, the Arabic music, the combination of the Arabic instruments. For example, I'm going to tell you a bit of the instruments that I'm using tomorrow. It's like the Arabic percussions and the Arabic flute, and you know, these kinds of instruments combined. I play on the piano with drums and bass and, you know, Western instruments. So you can expect something familiar, but in the same way something very new and something very modern. I think that the world has opened up. You know, there isn't anything anymore which is unreachable. All the cultures have opened up to each other. Me today being in Singapore, I'm definitely going to take a part of Singapore back with me to my place. And I'm sure that I'm going to have Asian in my music very soon in the upcoming albums. So there's nowhere to hide anymore from cultures. There's no way to hide from knowledge. You know, I never talk about music, as jazz or whatever. I always talk about it as knowledge. Today I'm bringing you a part of my home, and I hope to take a part of your home with me back.
Exactly. Well, it's what you call experience, and that sort of gets reflected in your music. But, you know, having talked about how passionate you are in music, you're also quite ambitious man, because in an earlier report that I read, you wanted to pursue movies, the movie industry, and you wanted to go for the Oscars.
Yeah, you read that. It's always a dream, you know. I've always I mean, from my experience in life, you know, I don't come from a musical family, and I built myself alone, you know, with the help of people who believed in me, and those people were my parents, so which every parent naturally does. One thing I learned was that if you can dream it, you can do it. The ability to dream is the most important ability that God has given us, you know, and why not? I mean.
So tell us a bit more about this ongoing project. Are you working on?
I've been working on it for the past 2 years now. I've worked on many movies. I've done a lot of music on movies, Hollywood movies, and now I just got a new project. Also, soon we'll be able to talk about it. Now it's very hush. Yeah, so I hope someday, you know, as long as I have the will, as long as I'm challenged every day, as long as I'm excited about it, there's no worry. The day that I feel that I have nothing to prove anymore as to myself, that's when I think I would give up.
You have so many things on your plate. I'm just wondering, how are you going to manage it all and balance it when you're going to be a father soon, I hear? Is that right?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah, and that will, you know, have a major impact on you. Well, we're well
we've asked ourselves. Well, good luck to you, Guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Come back and talk to us when you have that Oscar.
Hopefully.
We'll be looking out for that. Our guest this morning, Guy Manoukian, composer, producer, and pianist, who will be performing in Singapore.
Well, that's of course a one-night performance at the Esplanade Concert Hall tomorrow, the 14th of April at 8:30 p.m. So do get your tickets and catch this dance maestro from the Middle East.